Hey peeps, Willow Skylar here for a great episode of Willow's Pillow Talk. I am joined by Ryan Permisson and my best one of my best buds, Mark. Oh wow! Please tell me I'm saying your name right, Dobries.
Close enough. Not even anybody in my own family says it the same way.
We call him Gopher. It's easier to call him Gopher. All right, so
True story.
this weekend we're celebrating Gopher the Cure. 9 years. 9 years of Gopher the Cure now.
Can you believe it?
I can't believe how long we've been friends, if that's the case.
Almost 20 years, my dear.
That's insane. We met years ago at a nice little convention called KeyCon. He was the DJ there, and it was fantastic. Okay, I remember the first time I met you, walking through the front doors of KeyCon, or like the Radisson Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
You were the first one to greet me with a hug.
Yeah, it was a different time then.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good bunch of people.
It was fantastic, and although I do miss, like, it being the world of COVID right now, I really do miss going to conventions, and I really miss getting hugs by people.
Yeah, it's now that thing. It's not even about harassment anymore. It's stay away. You're
We're gonna need a hazmat suit when the world starts to reopen.
If you want to shake somebody's hand, you have to have a rubber glove on and a respirator.
Yes. Yep. So yeah, KeyCon was a sci-fi, a sci-fi
literary convention. Yeah.
And one of my favorite things about that convention was how you serenaded people by filking. Like that.
Oh yeah,
and the songs that you came up with. I know you wrote quite a few of them.
No, I only wrote one. I followed along with a lot of them, but I wrote the Spell of Silence.
That's awesome. I definitely want to, like, if you don't mind singing that later on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I've got my guitar sitting over there.
Okay. Ryan, do you go to sci-fi conventions at all?
Kind of a question is that? No, listen, let me tell you something. I've been going to conventions for 8 glorious years, and I've had a wonderful experience at pretty much every single one. I've met some wonderful people. I've met some of the biggest stars on the planet. I mean, it's a blast going to conventions. It's a bummer that the world is closed. Earth is closed today, as Tony Stark likes to tell us on a daily basis. So, it's a bummer, but we roll with it. There's been a lot of successful conventions that have gone virtual this year because of the situation with COVID, and they've done well. And I've checked in on a few things and seen saw some familiar faces. So yeah, conventions are nothing new to me, and I love them to pieces. And I hope one day, just one day, we can all go back to them. We can cosplay our little hearts out. We can go to the convention halls. We can buy as much stuff that we can't afford, spend the money that we definitely do not have, and and at the end of the convention weekend, which is normally on Sunday, the place closes at like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. It can be like, that was fun. Let's do it again sometime. That's what I want. That's what everybody wants.
In 365 days.
Yeah. Hopefully we get it sooner.
No, I'm just saying, it's like we always end thinking, oh, it's so sad, it's over. But in just 365 days.
That's right.
It comes back.
That's right. And it's fun. It's fun to attend those events. And yeah, like you were saying earlier, Willow, I miss giving people hugs too, because we're all family here. Yeah. We're all family. So
yeah. And that's the great thing. That's the great thing about a lot of the conventions that I go to is everybody. It feels like being at a family gathering.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about the love.
It really is. It's better than being at Thanksgiving dinner with the drunk uncle.
The other part of it is that you get to go out and express yourself in whether it's cosplay or the toys you're walking around with. Yes. I mean, I walked out of the last Comic Con that we had here. The mini con that we had in April. I walked out of there with a Legacy Millennium Falcon.
Ooh. Nice.
And now it sits on an acrylic stand in the corner of my living room. It's a showpiece. And
that's great.
Nowhere else could I have ever found. I could find it online maybe. And by the time it got to me, it'd be in 18 different pieces. Some assembly required. But coming away with the toys, walking around in my Jedi robes, swinging a lightsaber. I can't do that down Main Street in the middle of July. People start looking at me weird.
People might call the cops.
Yeah. Well, where was it? The one person was shot by the cops because they were swinging their lightsaber around outside of a comic book store. It's like, what's this world coming to? Comic-Con. We need it back. We need a place where we can walk around in our Jedi robes.
And I'm getting some comments in the comment section of how much people are missing conventions as well. And Joe Mickle right here. I look forward to getting to a convention once I get there and set up. I am ready for Sunday. Sunday gets there, I don't want to go. That's pretty much it. Like you get so caught up in everything.
In the moment.
Friday night you're tired, you just want to go eat. Saturday you're by the end of Saturday you're tired again.
Definitely
you just
drained by Saturday.
And eat and take your shoes off. Sunday it's like I don't want to leave. Please don't tell me it's the end,
Well, the last 5 Comic Cons I was set up. I partnered up with Game Night. Back in the day, I was one of the original owners of Game Night. And later on, I left Game Night, opened up Gopher the Music, and ended up becoming the DJ. I partnered up with them, had a booth inside the Game Night and would play music. I'd see somebody coming along in a Batman costume and I'd start playing the Batman theme. I'd play something, related to them. Yeah. And one of my favorite things, and I just loved it to death, was when those people in the inflatable T-Rexes came along.
Oh my gosh.
There was 6 of them in a line.
Everywhere.
There were 6 of them walking in a line, and I started playing Walk the Dinosaur. And they all started dancing in front of the booth. They all started dancing right in front of the booth, and all the people gathered around, and it brought Comic-Con to a complete halt in that part of the show because everybody was watching the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So they ended up putting me the last year. They put me by the front door, in between the doors, and I was running karaoke there. And I was the voice of Comic-Con. I was running the music over the top, and I was doing all the announcements because, hey, if I'm going to interrupt things, I might as well do it well.
Yeah. And
to piggyback off of that real quick, when we were at a convention last year, Neuroculture, we were getting some B-roll. We were getting footage of the vendors and all that stuff. And Caroline, a member of our team, was over at a vendor's booth, and she was looking at all this cool stuff, and one of the dinosaurs snuck behind her. And he had, he was waving around his head and whatever. And then he goes down to, bite her on the, you know what I mean? Like goes to get her on the head. And as soon as it happened, she jumped like literally out of her seat. She was like, whoa, God. And so we got her good. And then I was like, I'm so happy we caught that. And then they put it in the footage on our video, which is on our YouTube channel, which you guys can watch later. It's hilarious. So
I love that.
And Caroline gets scared easily. So whenever you scare her, whether it's a dinosaur outfit or whatever the case may be, it's great for the bloopers reel.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I mean, seriously, the dinosaurs are at every convention. They're everywhere, but they're great. And they're great. I could shake their paws or whatever. He's like, hey, how you doing? It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
One of our friends actually made it pretty big with one of his suits. He calls himself Conrad.
Right? No, I mean Conrad. Okay, nice.
So he did like the media circuit, appearing on television and radio and all that. So yeah, those suits definitely get around.
Yeah, or the last one, they dressed up. They had 4 of them, and they were dressed up as the Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I
Yeah,
love
so you had T-Rex Ninja Turtles,
love it.
and they were carrying around pizza. It was so funny.
Why couldn't I have been there to say that?
Oh,
darn it. I love turtles and I love pizza even more. So I would have been definitely satisfied with that image, if not those dinosaurs coming up to me and be like, hey, you want, they can't say anything, but it's like, you want pizza? And then I'll look at them and say, clever girl.
Okay, so I'll put it out there for you. Put it out there for you. Can don't know if it's on YouTube or not on YouTube, but on Netflix. But I just saw Batman versus the Ninja Turtles.
Oh my God.
And the animation's not that great, but the story's good, and they're definitely into pizza. It's just great.
I think I caught it randomly on television one
day. They aired it on Nickelodeon like some time ago, and I caught like 20 minutes of it, and I was like, this isn't terrible. This isn't bad. This is entertaining. I want to watch the whole thing, but then I'm like, darn it, I have to be somewhere. This is what happens when you're a podcaster. You get tied up with other things.
That's why they invented VCRs, and then they went into digital recorders, and now you got your
PVRs
and your TiVos. Well, it used to be TiVos, now DVRs. Yeah.
But I'm sure you could find it online. It's got to be somewhere.
It's got to be. I do want to watch it because a friend of mine told me about it the other day. I'm like, yeah, I know what it is. I've seen bits and pieces. I just want to watch the whole thing.
And if you want to see something even more terrible, Batman Ninja. That's on Netflix.
Oh, okay. I do have Netflix though.
So it's like a Japanimation of Batman.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that
up. And they go back in time to feudal Japan.
I'm gonna have to look this up since I have Netflix now.
You finally got Netflix.
Yeah, it's this new thing.
Yeah, it's this new thing. It's called Netflix. Yeah, I finally got it, Willow. I know I'm slow. I'm
So
what is it, like 2 days late and I'm $1 short, but I got there. Yeah, I'm about 100 days late.
I've almost reached the end of Netflix, so that's okay. I started on Disney Channel. Oh, Disney Channel next week. The Mandalorian starts again.
October 30th, on Disney Plus.
Oh,
and I just read that Katie Sackhoff is going to be in it.
Ooh.
As Bo-Katan.
I believe so. I think I heard
she was the voice of Bo-Katan in Clone Wars. They're bringing her back as Bo-Katan in the Mandalorian.
Oh wow,
that's exciting. There's a lot of people that are going to be showing up this season on Mandalorian. I heard Kyle Reese himself, Michael Biehn, is supposed to show up.
That's what they said.
Yeah.
I love it. Can't wait. I really wish there was the IG unit didn't explode. He was really cool.
Spoilers, Willow, if you haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, because as we all,
you haven't watched it yet.
Willow won't get this reference, but Willow, once you see The Mandalorian, you're gonna realize one simple thing about life, and that is, this is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Nice little segue. This is one of the prizes at Gopher the Cure this year.
Oh, there you go. It's the child.
Baby Yoda, or whatever, the child.
The child, yeah.
With a frog in his mouth.
I believe that was episode 3.
Yes.
Like I said, Willow, you'll get it once you actually binge it.
Yeah.
And you'll
making the bucks on that one.
You'll want a Baby Yoda for yourself. I swear to God.
Every one of my friends has one in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a Funko Pop, a stuffed toy, or an actual action figure or something.
I went to Dollarama and I found a little eraser that sits on my desk at work of Baby Yoda.
Oh, jeez.
I'm trying very hard to stay away from the Funko Pops. I have.
Yeah, they'll suck you in. For
Elvira,
sure.
And that's as far as I'm going with my collection.
Yeah,
just so you know, Dollarama had a run on Funko Pops of the Star Wars ones. I got as many as I could. They were $4 a piece at Dollarama.
Wow.
Star Wars. Yeah. Anyway.
May the force be with you.
Well,
exactly. October 30th, Willow. Mark your calendar.
See, me and Mark actually dressed up to promote KeyCon years ago. Oh my God. I dressed up as Princess Leia and you dressed up as your Sith Lord, and it was so much fun. We went up to
Green Hill.
Garbage Hill.
Yep.
It was so windy.
We were leaning forward at almost a 45-degree angle and we weren't falling over. And the free press guy was like, "Yeah, this is great. This is great."
We could barely hear each other because the wind was so bad.
Jeez.
I'm pretty sure I lost my wig a couple times.
Oh, that's never any fun when you lose an important part of your outfit or one of your props. Is it true that it's already started like windy and snowing up there in your neck of the woods?
It's already snowing, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh no.
Where are you located?
I'm in Maryland, USA, man. I'm not up north. I'm in the US.
That's on the coast, is it not?
He's safe right now.
Yeah, I'm on the northeast of the US. Yeah, Maryland to be more specific.
Yeah, I had a cousin working out in there as a marine biologist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's now in Florida.
Oh. Well, a number of our friends that Willow and I know of live in Florida.
Yeah.
Florida, so.
Hey, do you remember Mark from Texas, Willow, that came up?
I think so.
He came up for KeyCon, and he said, "Hey, I want to go outside and have a smoke." So we all walked out with him, and we were all in T-shirts, and he's in a coat and he's shivering.
Yeah, yeah.
KeyCon happened on May long weekend. And so it was probably, I don't know what it would be Fahrenheit, but it was about 10 degrees Celsius.
My goodness.
Which is probably what?
Like
30 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Can't imagine.
And he was just shaking. He was blue, and we're all like in T-shirts.
The funny thing is when I have my coworkers turning on the heat in my drive-through, and I'm like turning it off. I'm like, "What are you doing? It's cold." It's 14 degrees.
That's what happens when you work with people from hot countries.
Yeah. I work with a woman from Jamaica, and she always turns on the heat in my drive-through. I'm like, "Stop! You're burning me."
Oh, so you want to be like, "No, I will control the switch, okay?" If
she's like the Sheldon of Starbucks.
Starbucks, yeah.
She's always cold.
No, I will control the thermostat.
Yeah, exactly.
So Gopher the Cure is happening this weekend.
Yes.
This is number 9.
Gopher the Cure number 9.
Wow, that's amazing.
I can't believe it. I mean, from the start of it to the end of it. And the funny thing is, it has not changed that the final week before the event, I am just a nervous bag of rags.
Okay, background. Anytime that we plan a fundraiser, Gopher the Cure is a fundraiser to raise money for
cancer,
for the Never Alone Foundation.
Yeah.
And everybody's been touched by cancer in some form of, or
some way. Somebody we love, somebody we know, somebody we don't know, and even ourselves. I've had a scare myself last year, and it turned out to be nothing. But still, I mean, you worry about these things, right?
And I know your mom was diagnosed with breast cancer at the beginning of when we first started.
Yes, my stepmother Minda. She had breast cancer, and I'm glad to say that she is still cancer free.
Excellent.
Basically, a little bit of background on how Gopher the Cure started. I'm a wedding DJ, a social DJ, and I do all these events. And if you're not from Manitoba, a wedding social is an event that couples hold to raise money to help with their wedding. And we have silent auctions, and people come, they dance, they have drinks together. It's a big festival of love. And the way the social started was back in the day when you had a wedding, you invited everybody from your town into the wedding. But eventually our communities got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was impossible to have everybody at your wedding. So what you did was you held a social for the people that you could not invite to your wedding. And that became more, what's the word I'm looking for? Commercialized, in the fact that, back in the day, it was $2 to go to a social. Now it's $10 to go to a social. And social silent auctions weren't even a thing in the original socials. Then all of a sudden, silent auctions came out. You got a bunch of prizes, and you sold tickets, and then you drew the tickets for each prize. So I had one for Halloween weekend, or not the weekend before Halloween. And in that, nobody from the bridal party, not even the bride and groom, went out and got any prizes. Nobody sold one ticket. So 2 weeks before the event, I get notification that they've canceled the event.
Oh.
So a friend of mine was the best man for this social. And he was the only one who got any prizes. He got, I think, maybe 2 prizes or something like that. And so I was saying, well, you know what? That really kind of bites, because the Halloween socials were my favorite. Halloween is my favorite time of year. People dress up. They get to step out of their comfort zone and be what they want, who they want. You can be Frankenstein, Dracula. You can put a sheet over your face, be a ghost, and scare, what's her name? From your team that jumped.
Oh, Caroline.
Yeah, we could scare her being a ghost.
Yeah, you can dress up as a ghost and be like, I got a rock.
That's right.
yeah. Charlie Brown, baby.
So I said, what am I going to do now? I've got nothing to do for this weekend. I said, well, have a party anyway. I said, so what? Just have a party, sell tickets, make money off my friends? That's not right. It's different if one of them wants to hire me and I'll DJ for them. They pay me for entertaining their guests. That's one thing. But making money on the backs of my friends, I didn't want to do that. Said, well, what matters to you? I said, well, asthma, diabetes. Well, actually not diabetes, because I wasn't diabetic yet. But asthma. There was a couple of, I said, my stepmother just got diagnosed with breast cancer. And he said, hang on a minute. And he went AFK. I'm like, okay, he's off talking to his wife or whatever. And all of a sudden, and Willow was one of them. Willow was one of these people. All of a sudden, these messages start popping up on my Facebook. I want tickets to your social. I'm like, what social? Well, your cancer fundraiser. I said, what are you guys talking about? He had gone and he had said, who wants to go to a cancer fundraiser held by Gopher, blah, 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 blah. And all these people are, okay, hang on, everybody. Hold your horses. I will let you know what's going on. So that was Sunday night. Monday morning, I called the venue and they let me have the venue. And they donated the venue. They didn't make me pay for the venue. They donated the room and the bartender. Oh, wow. And supplied all the alcohol. We didn't have to go get our own license. And then I printed off tickets. And then I went business to business for 11 days by myself. My ex-wife came along for some of it and helped. But in 11 days, I put together a social for cancer. We had $6,000 in prizing. And we had 120 people at this event, and we raised our first $1,800.
Oh, wow.
And we gave that to the Canadian Cancer Society, Canadian Cancer Society, the Manitoba division. Last year, though, and then it just grew. Willow jumped on board, became a member of our team. Thank you so much. You don't know how much. I mean, at the end of Gopher the Cure 1, I don't know if you remember, I stood up there on that little stage and I cried when I thanked everybody for showing up, because I did not know this was going to happen. I was so tired from that, because I went to work and then I ate, slept, and drank Gopher the Cure for that whole 11 days. Did nothing else. Nobody saw me. My D&D group didn't see me. My family didn't see me. I was from after work till almost midnight running around gathering prizes and stuff.
But the amount of prizes that we end up getting all the time, like
Now, yeah.
I don't know how you do it, Mark, but you walk into a place, you ask, you show what the social is all about. You end up walking out with a lot of like several of the like
Some
the
pretty cool
big
things.
blow up. Mark, you have the gift of gab. You are able to just walk out with anything.
Well, that is my
has.
gift, gab. I'm often told to shut up, but it's about relationships, is what it is. These people don't give me prizes because, hey, he's doing something. It's not only about the cancer. It's about I go in there with respect to them, and I understand. Times aren't always good for every business, and you can only give what you can give. And sometimes you can't give. Sometimes your budget just does not allow for you to give. So some of them give me, a $25 gift certificate. Well, you know what that does? That brings people into your store. You're still giving me something. Somebody's getting $25 worth of something.
Yeah.
If they spend a little more, then that business is getting more business. And one of the real things I always say is, people, when you see these companies, the Haberdashery here in Winnipeg donated this hat.
It's a beautiful hat.
It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful, beautiful hat. I want to wear it so bad, but I'm not. I got from Play It Again Sports golf clubs.
Nice.
Wow.
MEP Brothers here in the city. One of our team members went in with a letter and said, "Hey, we're doing the social." And he goes, "What are you driving?" And he goes, "An SUV." Why? He goes, "Take that bike. We've got a bicycle as a prize."
Crap.
Home Depot gave me a 6.5 foot tall demon animatronic.
That's crazy.
Well,
Right?
that'll give me nightmares. That'll keep me up tonight. But
You got a bunch of little Funko Pops.
You got it.
And I mean, I don't care if the prizes are small or big.
Yeah.
Right?
A little bit helps.
Everything helps. And all you're doing is you're giving somebody something for their donations, for the prizing. So over time, Willow, Francis, who we know is Poison Ivy. Francis originally was my number 2. We met working the Relay for Life together. I was DJing the Relay for Life, 12 hours on my feet playing music for these wonderful people as they go around the track, not sleeping themselves.
Wow.
And so I met her and she became part of it. Betty and Heather Punkert. Heather is now my number 2 in command, just because she does not have any problems putting me in my place when I'm overtired and being stupid.
Anytime we get a message, we need more prizes, we have to tell them to sit back down.
Delora Tanischuk, Chris Langtree, Willow, of course, you. Who am I missing? Who am I missing? I want to make sure that everybody gets recognized here because they're also wonderful. Members. There they are. Members are...
Well, as we all know,
Heather
teamwork makes the dream work.
Heather Punkert. See all. Brian Chachanoff and his wife Shira, Ryan Jason Scott and his wonderful fiance Ronit, and Catherine Smith. All of you guys, I love you all. I can't thank you guys enough because you take a lot of the stress off my back. So these wonderful people get together. Some of them run the food. Some of them put the prizes together. Some of them, stroke my head while I'm crying in a corner. It's everybody has their role to play.
Yeah.
Me, during Gopher the Cure, I am behind the DJ booth. I am playing the music. I'm emceeing and I'm hosting, and I can't be thinking about who's at the door collecting money, who's doing things. They do it. They're automatic. Everybody knows their role, and they do it to perfection.
Yep.
I don't worry about a thing. All of you.
I'm usually crowd control, because I just like to
ground control. What is this? An air control tower?
Air control to Major Tom.
What is?
I just like to chat with people and just to make sure that everybody's doing okay.
In the first 7 years, we raised over $15,000 and gave it to the Canadian Cancer Society.
That's amazing.
Last year, for Gopher the Cure, we raised $3,000 on that night alone. $3,003, because we were just $3 short of the $3,000 mark I wanted to hit, and one of my friends sent me $6. So we had 3,000,
and they get you there. There you go.
And I took it in, gave it to them in cash, and they wrote it down on a great big giant check. And for the first time in my life, I got to hold up one of those giant checks.
Oh, I've had that dream for decades, man.
That was so,
awesome,
so fulfilling. And we gave that to the Never Alone Foundation. And the Never Alone Foundation is a Winnipeg created entity that takes care of people that are in the fight. Big problem right now is that COVID has killed and literally killed a lot of the fundraising events that have been going on, all the walks for life, all the like the dog shows that people do, the parties that people are doing. It's gone. We can't have more than 5 people together in one room and in a gathering. Well, so this way we're actually able to we're able to still fundraise. Hi, John. Hey, Marky boy. John's actually the newest member of the Gopher the Cure team. So
excellent.
He's kind of like our media expert.
Well, he's performed for us in the past. So.
He has. He's a well-known Winnipeg famous comedian. He's been a newscaster, broadcaster, a host on a local TV show, The Big Breakfast. He's been on radio, and wonderful, wonderful human being. Amongst like all the rest of you. Hey, where did our little buddy go?
He had to take off. He's got date night.
Oh, isn't he lucky?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like you say, well, I really, really can't believe that we are 9 years in.
It's crazy. Like I just thinking about it, like 9 years of planning and gathering all these prizes, and I apologize if I don't make it to too many meetings, but I mean when the day actually happens, I'm excited to be there.
Yeah, I know. Everybody does their part. Everybody does as much as they can, and that's all I can ask of anybody is to do as much as you can. I don't expect anybody to put in as much as I do, but I'm happy that you all do.
Yeah. And I'm more than willing to, I'm more than happy to help set up the prize table. And we always have a huge section of the hall dedicated just for the prizes.
And, and you make me laugh when you remind me that at this point in time, I always look at the prizes that we got, like there's not enough. We don't have enough. And then it turns out that we are overflowing with prizes. We got too many. Another company that's donating, Game Night Games and Cool Stuff, is donating. I'll be picking up their prize, a game package. They always outdo themselves every year with such wonderful game packages that they put together. Winnipeg's premier game store. If you want a puzzle, if you want a game, if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, if you're into Magic the Gathering, if you just want to roll a set of dice, if you want to paint little miniatures, they're the place to go.
Yep.
Darts, they've got darts as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Hop, skip, and a jump from my place.
when Scott and I opened game night, we even had a ping pong table. We were going to sell ping pong tables. Turned out to be harder than we thought.
Oh no.
But it's gone from being a little itty bitty store in the back of another store to being this beautiful giant building on Osborne Street. And Scott is one of my closest friends. I'm lucky in my life to have a handful of really great friends. Scott being one of them. He always makes sure that he gives from the heart, and I can't thank him enough. Everybody that's donated gives from the heart, and it's a wonderful thing. And like I say, it's about relationships. You go in there and you create relationships with these people, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah. And speaking of prizes, I'm donating this. I don't know how I managed to procure this, but I'm donating it. I don't need it. You guys can have it.
If you can, drop it off at game night.
Yeah.
Or give it to Scott, because I've got to pick up the other prize from him anyway.
Okay. So, sure. I'll do that probably tomorrow or something.
Sounds great, because I'll be picking it up tomorrow night, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, so COVID has created this really weird world.
Yep.
And so I had two options. I could stop Gopher the Cure for the year, take a break, and then or trudge forward with 50 people, because that was how many people we were allowed at the time. Then the hall that we were going to be in came back with, "I'm sorry, we're canceling the date. The powers that be are not allowing any events in the building."
Oh, wow.
Well, that's because it's a Legion.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of elderly people in the Legions, and we want to make sure they're safe. We don't want to be potentially spreading anything around. And I get it. And that was fine with me. So then that was like, okay, now I've really got to think, how do I move forward without a venue? And I do a show called Gopher Radio. I've been doing it for a number of years. And I thought, well, can I broadcast videos, music videos? So I tried it, and Facebook shut me down. 23 minutes I made it. Now they're getting smarter. Now I think it's like 7 or 8. And that's because of the music. I'm a professional disc jockey. I play music for a living. But Facebook doesn't recognize the fact that I'm professionally doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not just some hackney yellow T-shirt with my name on it.
Yeah. It's copyrights.
Yeah, and I get it.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for it. So I had to find another way. So I'm working off of my website platform to broadcast music videos, and then give the prizes away. And it's because there's a physical limitation of 3 hours to the videos, to the stream, to the live stream. Halfway through, we will be, okay, ladies and gentlemen, close this stream, open up the next stream. And so that way we can get the full 5 hours.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to, it's like going to be part 1 and part 2 to follow immediately, with about 10 seconds of dead air. So we're going to be beaming it into your homes. And so gather your 5 You get your group of 5 together, move your furniture, and dance. Play games and watch the music videos and listen to the music. If you have requests, you can send your requests in on ask.the.dj/GTC. Go for the Cure, GTC. And that request will pop up on my screen right in my DJ software. So technology is kind of lending itself to make sure we can move forward. Now, and I've said this before, I don't care if I make $50 or $5,000. I just want to give something to the Never Alone Foundation. So, yeah, Saturday, 8 o'clock.
I'm posting up the link to the event page in the chat. So, but yeah.
To the group or to the event?
The event page.
Excellent.
So make sure that you guys check it out. Go for the Cure number 9.
So yeah, so $5 is the donation to get the link for the event, and then every $5 after that gets your name put in for a prize. And if you got 10 names, if you got your name in there 10 times, you've got 10 chances to win a prize. And if you win a prize, your names don't all get sucked out. If you win a prize, then you got 9 chances to win something else. So your name just stays in the barrel and keeps going until we're done winning prizes. So not all the prizes are in yet. I've still got some to get, so I don't even know what they're all going to be. I'll know on Saturday morning, I guess.
So are you going to have it all like set up in your house?
Well, I'm sitting here. Let's see here. There I am. So my gear is all sprued out across the table here. And then my other teammates I'm going to have a couple of teammates sitting over there with laptops, taking care of the e-transfers.
Okay.
And then I've got team members going to be sitting at their homes, and they're going to be monitoring the chat.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The chat room as well. So yeah, that's how we're going to be doing it. I really wish I could have had like dancers in the middle of the room there and have the video going to them every now and then.
I'm available Saturday. So every now and then you could cut to the feed of me maybe dancing in my kitchen.
Well, the only issue is I don't know how I can with my software, I don't have the ability to pull in from like Zoom or whatever. I really wish I could, because then, there are some songs I've got that don't have a video to it. So you get this pattern or a picture or my mug on your screen during that song. I'll probably have a slideshow of the prizes, or if people want to send in pictures of loved ones they've lost to go for to cancer, we'll put them up there too.
That's a good idea.
Very, very wonderful friend of mine. Her name is Pearl, and her sister Shelly. They just lost their sister a month ago to cancer. So we're dedicating Go for the Cure 9 to Barb is her name this year. And anybody else, if you've got somebody you'd like to dedicate Go for the Cure to, we're happy to honor them, because let's face it. Yes, COVID has stopped the world, but cancer didn't get the memo.
Yep. And one of our friends, Claudia, she's battling cancer right now, but she's she's my hero. Like, she's not letting this like dull her sparkle at all, and I love her very much. So Claudia, Peace Girl, you are amazing. We will fight this together.
It always amazes me the heroism is a good word for it that comes out when somebody gets that diagnosis.
Yeah.
How brave they become. They don't want you feeling sorry for them. They don't want you feeling sad for them. They tough it out. They don't complain. They just deal with it the best they can. And it really shows what's inside. And if we can make life a little easier for some of them, that's great. I mean, the foundation that we're working with, the Never Alone Foundation, look them up. They do some amazing things for people. There was one of the stories that I just truly love was that, and forgive me if I get the TV show wrong, but a gentleman was at end of life, maybe a month left. And so he was bedridden. And all him and his wife did was watch like The Price is Right, something like that. It was a game show or something along that lines anyway. And due to the fact that he was no longer working and they were dealing with, the cancer all the time, they couldn't afford Shaw anymore. So their bill got high, they got cut off. So now here's this man who's end of life and not able to do anything. So the Never Alone Foundation was wonderful and went and talked to Shaw and, made a deal with them, and they paid up the bill to get him cable to the end of his life and a little bit after, so that the wife could get back on her feet. So, I mean, that's just one story. There's so many of them. Sometimes it's a matter of, you need to get to your appointments. Do you have a friend that can drive you? We'll pay for the parking and for the gas for them to go. That's so amazing. They're not out of pocket as long as you've got somebody that can help you. And so little things like that, grandiose things, they help the best that they can to anybody who's suffering. I mean, there are limitations to everything, right? But they do their best. They're a great bunch of people. When we asked if we could partner up with them, they jumped on board with us so quick. They were grateful about it. We were not just another number, giving them money. They're grateful. It's a relationship.
And the one thing that I love about these people at the Never Alone Foundation as well is they actually show up to our events.
That is true. That is very true. They were there last year in force.
They don't just give us promotion material to post up. Several of their members are there.
Yeah, and they also provide us with prizes. People donate things to them that they turn around and gave to us to add to our prize. And in fact, they're doing the same again tomorrow. They are 100% on board, and they don't take it for granted. That's the wonderful thing about it.
Yeah. And it's great to work with a group that actually isn't just all about promoting their business. They want to be a part of it.
Yeah, they're so active in the community that it's amazing. It really is.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, make sure that you guys go to their page and give them some love. What they do is amazing, and if it weren't for the Never Alone Foundation, when it comes to Winnipeg and people fighting cancer, I don't know. I can't say enough how much I love these this
They're
group.
wonderful people. They kind of take up the slack where it falls apart. I mean, you've got the Canadian Cancer Society, you got the Canadian Cancer Foundation, Cancer Care Manitoba. They all do wonderful jobs. Every one of them, whether it be in research, whether it be helping people get to and from wherever, in whatever they do, the Never Alone Foundation kind of fills in the cracks in between and helps people. And so many people don't even know about the Never Alone Foundation.
Yeah.
And they need to. They really, really need to. So here they are, the Never Alone Foundation.
I have brain fart. Wow. So how did you get into being a DJ?
Awesome. I've wanted to be a disc jockey since I was 5 years old. There's a woman in Calgary. Her name is Michelle. She has been my closest friend since I was 16.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she was my first true love. We dated, then we decided, it's just better. We've been friends ever since. We didn't really break up. We just kind of changed our relationship status. And she tells me, I remember when you used to mix those tapes for me, but what happened was there were some breakdancers on the TV screen. And my dad challenged me, said, you could never do that. So I took up the challenge and I became a break dancer. I was 13, 14. And we were at the Calgary Stampede performing for a local radio station. We were this team that they put together to entertain the crowd 5 times a day during the Calgary Stampede. And we were being paid very little for it, but it was fun. A disc jockey saw our show and approached myself and another one of my friends there, we called Twist, and asked us if we wanted to dance for his DJ company at schools. So me being 14 at the time, I said to him, well, you'll have to talk to my dad. I don't know who the hell you are. I want to do this, but I don't know you from Adam. So my dad came to pick me up. And so I introduced him to my father, and they went off talking and left me all alone in the Calgary Stampede amongst all those strange people. And my dad told him, talked to him, verified who the guy was, and said, my son has always wanted to be a DJ. So he said, okay, I think I can work with this. So every Friday and Saturday night, I'd go out and I would perform. Myself and my friend Twist would perform for this guy at school dances on Friday nights and other dances on Saturday nights. 5 minutes of dancing, $35. And at that time, that was a hell of a lot of money. For a 14-year-old, come on.
Yeah.
I can impress a lot of 14-year-old girls with $35. Back then in the day, right?
That's a lot of comic books.
Yeah, that's a lot of comic book. That was toys. That was, for me, it was music. I always bought records.
Oh, okay.
I would buy records and 45s. My favorite
sense.
song. Sometimes I didn't want the whole album. Just wanted a song. So I'd go out and buy 45s. So, and cassettes, cassette tapes, music for, so, so what was happening was he would pick me up. I would go help him set up and tear down. So I was with him the entire time. And then one day he took the turntables, because we used record players, turntables, and he put them to the side. And he had me queuing up the records, starting and stopping the music. And then one day he took the mixer and he put it in between. And he basically talked. He did all the mic work. And I was learning to read the crowd, pick the songs, play the music. And then it was in April. I was 15 years old. We're setting up for this great big hockey end of season hockey event. So there's all these hockey players and their wives or girlfriends, all there, 400 people. And we set up this gear, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I said to him, this is not the same setup. He goes, very good. This is your setup. Welcome to your first show. And he walked out.
Oh my God.
I'd never been on a microphone yet. He just walked out.
Wow.
So here's this 15-year-old, wet behind the ears, in front of 400 people, and at the end of the night, the boss came back to collect. I was already tearing down the gear, and he went up to the organizer and said, how did you do? And they were very, very happy with my performance. They gave me a $50 tip. A $50 tip. 15 years old. I got my first gig. I got a $50 tip. What I earned that night was $50. So I made $100 on my first night DJing, and I was like, I'm in heaven. So he had me on gigs every weekend after that. Then I started, when I got to be 18, I started working at a restaurant called Earl's. But it's not the Earl's that you see today. We had like paper mache parrots hanging around. It was a fun place to be. And they had a bar. It was called Rascals. And I walked in. I was in there after hours one day, and a person said, I was talking to the DJ. He goes, and he was mixing, and he says, "You want to give it a try?" I said, "Oh, I'd love to." So I got behind there, and I was DJing. I was already a disc jockey. He didn't know. He thought he was being a smart ass. And am I allowed to say ass on the air?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He thought he was being a smart ass because the number one thing is everybody thinks they're a DJ until you say, go for it. And then they see all the little knobs and things, and they're like, I don't know how to fly the Enterprise. And so he let me play, and he was like, okay, so I got Thursday nights at Rascals. And then I moved from there to Vancouver, and I started working clubs in Vancouver. And then I started up with doing weddings again in Vancouver, and then moved here. Started with Crystal Sound, went to Europa Sound, went to Week's End Productions, and then in February 2008, Gopher the Music was born. February 1st, we opened.
So tell us the story how you got the name Gopher.
Okay.
I love your stories, by the way.
So I'm a Dungeons and Dragons player, and I've been playing it since before first edition, back in the boxes. So we had a group that would come over every Sunday night and play at my house, and it consisted of about 9 of us in total. And we were waiting for somebody, and it was late, and I've got this weird quirk, and you've seen it.
Yep.
If there's a song playing and I'm not completely aware of it, but it's there's music or something playing in the background, and I start dancing. And it's not like I'm boogieing away. It's just this stupid little shuffle I do. I used to embarrass my father all the hell. He'd take me places, and he'd say, "Would you stop twitching and fidgeting?" because the song's playing on the overhead and I'm doing my little thing. I'm totally unaware that I'm doing it too. I am totally unaware. This is just something broke inside my brain, and this is what I do. I'm a dancer by heart, and so I've been doing this. So anyways, I'm standing there looking at my friends. We're waiting for somebody. My son, Eric, who was 8 at the time, was playing with Lego on the floor. And he looked up and he says, "Daddy looks like the Gopher." And everybody starts laughing. And I did not know. I look behind me. I'm doing my stupid little dance and I'm not even aware of it. And I'm in time with the Gopher from Caddyshack. So it looked like we were doing a dance together, and that I just became known as Gopher. The name just stuck.
That's awesome.
More people call me Gopher than call me Mark. In fact, a lot of people at the con forgot my name. If you said Mark, they're like, "Who?"
I'm pretty sure that's how you introduced yourself too.
I do now. I introduced myself as
Gopher. I'm Gopher. And it's like, okay. And we run with it.
Yeah. Because, well, a lot of people, you met me as Mark, but I mean, when was the last time you actually called me Mark?
Very seldom. Very seldom. I think I have you in my cell phone as Gopher too.
You know, it's one of those things. It's always been. Very few people call me Mark.
Michaela Jade is asking where you got the lights from.
They are from a company called Chauvet. They're a professional light. They're wireless. That one there is the first one you see there. Oh, wait on. This one here is the master. And there's 4 in a set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the other 4, they're all slaved off of that one.
Oh, wow.
So they are wireless. They can be put anywhere in the room. They run for 8 hours. And 4 of them is worth about $800.
Whew.
They got a polycarbonate tube with an LED strip in it. No, do not use them like lightsabers. Not cool. They got a solid base.
Oh, wow.
That comes off, and you can put a bolt on the bottom, and you can hang them upside down from something.
Oh, that's neat. Huh.
So yeah, they're wonderful. They're one of my filler lights now. They're a specialty light.
And you always have great setup. One of my favorite things I say to people is I don't mind being a booth babe. And when we're at Comic-Con, you allow me to be at your booth and hang out with you for the day.
I've let you DJ in there.
And it's fun. It's like I enjoy being your booth babe.
And I enjoy having you there because you're a lot of fun to be around. But DJing to me is the best job in the planet. I get to meet wonderful people. I get to make them happy, let them, so they can dance, they do whatever. Hang on here, I'll show you the effects of the light. So there you go. Oh.
That is cool. Yeah, I learned so much from you when we do our shows, and so I can't wait to get back into it. And
oh, it's such a hoot. And DJing is one of those things that everybody seems to love. And everybody, funny thing is a lot of people think it's an easy job. It's not. No. You're trying to get into the heads of people to pick out the songs that they're going to want to hear. This Saturday night's going to be one hell of a job for me because I can't see you dance. Well, I'm guessing.
We'll have to do some sort of dance off or some kind of dance contest where we have people send videos
there you go
to you.
Oh, that reminds me, one of the contests we are going to be running a contest. It's decorate your COVID mask.
Oh, I like that idea. Oh, I got plenty of masks to do that with. So I like that idea.
Rumors has just donated tickets to their show.
Oh, nice. Nice. Rumors is a local comedy club.
Yep. So the other thing is, if you do happen to win one of the tangible prizes, and you do not live in Winnipeg, if you live in Winnipeg, I'm happy to deliver. If you do not live in Winnipeg, shipping is on you.
Yeah. So it's $5 to join in on the
link, yep.
Event. Okay.
And then every $5 donation after that gets you a ballot in for the prizing.
Nice. You know what? It's funny. Every year I tend to win at least one prize. I don't win normally at any other event. For some reason, your events are the only ones that I win at.
And you always win the most awkward things.
Yes.
That is the funniest thing.
I've won the adult prize.
Yeah, we had 1 year with really
1 year.
And yeah, now you don't even need Joe anymore because you have those toys. Sorry, Joe.
It's funny because like the package that I won had like all these like condoms and flavor lube and stuff like that. I ended up giving a lot of that away because I'm just like, I don't know, I'm not ever gonna use this.
I'm not going there.
And the show's called Willow's Pillow Talk. It's gonna get dirty.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you've always seemed to win the funniest of the prizes.
I did end up winning the Scarecrow 2 years ago. So that's one of my favorite prizes, and I did win a skeleton 1 year as well.
Mm-hmm. The Halloween, yeah. One of the things is that I always got from some of the Home Depots around the town and everything else. They would give us the animatronic Halloween decorations, and they would be decorations throughout the night and then become a prize. And at first they were little things. They always gave us these itty bitty things. And so they became like door prizes. And then all of a sudden I ended up with like over $2,000 in animatronics, and they became a grand prize. I don't know how that happened. You know, we had that great big wagon.
Yes, I wanted that so bad.
The horse-drawn carriage with the skeleton on it.
Yeah.
We had the Jack Skellington and what's her name?
From the Nightmare Before
Sally.
Christmas. Yeah.
Jack Skellington and Sally. That was pretty awesome. We had that giant ghost that fell over. It was over 10 feet tall. It was it got up to the roof of the Legion, and then it was bent over. It looked like the Hunchback of Gosterdam.
But I mean, like all these prizes that you get, and like you get the TVs, you get like the carpets, the bikes. It still amazes me at, you know, again, you walk into places and you walk out with like arms full of stuff.
Well, sometimes it's just a gift certificate, but the thing is that more often than not, the companies that I go and I talk to, and part of it is that I go in, I meet the person, I explain what we are doing and why. All right. And I create a relationship with them. And, you know, they're wonderful people. They just want to help out. And so they do.
And the moment that you tell them it's for cancer research, and
that does help. Well, Never Alone Foundation doesn't do much in the way of research. I mean, for the first 7 years, it was the Canadian Cancer Society. They did. Never Alone Foundation is more about helping those that are in the fight. And helping make their life just a little bit easier, because it's very easy once you are in the fight to fall short.
Yeah. And I mentioned her before. Claudia, I love you.
What was cheesy? I like
I think that
cheesies.
was when you were talking about working for Earl's.
Oh yes, it was cheesy. It was the best cheesy. I miss that Earl's.
I miss Chi-Chi's.
I used to be a cook at Chi-Chi's. You don't want to know what goes beyond. But at Earl's back here in Winnipeg, when Earl's was still that fun place, there was one on St. James, across from Polo Park, not where it is now. It was on St. James itself, and Eric had just been born, and we went for dinner at Earl's, and he was being a fuss bucket.
Mm-hmm.
So there are these two lovely elderly women at the table next to us, and they asked if they could hold him, and so that we could eat. And our waitress said, "I will stay with the baby the entire time." And so
wow.
Eric was being passed around the restaurant from person to person while we ate our meal, and our waitress stayed with him the entire time.
Wow.
I'm still not sure if he got switched out or not, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't. And until he came back around to us and we were finished our meal, we gave her a wonderful tip. And the funny thing is, everybody else gave her a tip as well, because she gave up her tables to stay with Eric.
Wow. That's going above and beyond. That doesn't happen very often anymore when it comes to restaurants.
No, now the person takes the baby, puts it under the arm, runs out the door, and you never see them again.
Yep.
Now, in hindsight, if that had happened, I would never have had the name Gopher.
Yeah. That's I'm glad that your son pointed that out.
Yeah, that's all on him. He's an amazing young man, that guy.
Now, I mentioned before how much I absolutely love your stories, and so yeah, I think one of the best stories, well, there's two fabulous stories. I don't know if you want to tell them, but the one where you're offering pizza to our helicopter, the police helicopter.
Okay. Father's Day. My son was dating this young girl that drove dragsters. 16 years old or whatever she was, 15 years old, and she drove faster than I've ever driven in my life. So for Father's Day, we went out to see her actually do this. And so this is back when I was still with my wife. And I invited everybody over for pizza afterwards, her family and our family. So sitting on our back porch was me and my wife, my son Eric, his girlfriend Michelle, her sister, her sister's boyfriend, her parents, my daughter Kristen, and Kristen's boyfriend. We're all on the deck and hanging out. We'd ordered pizza. So we're waiting for the pizza, and we're talking about airsoft guns. And so my son had a couple of them. One of them was an AK-47, fully automatic machine gun. I actually have it here somewhere. And so the father of his girlfriend asked if he could see it. And I said, "Sure. Would you like to fire it?" He goes, "Absolutely." So I put a very aggressive beer can on top of the roof of my metal shed, and gave him the gun and let him open fire on it. Now that made a hell of a lot of racket, and it was kind of fun. Tick, 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 bing. And so then we put the gun away. I put it back in the living room and didn't think much of it. And we're sitting there. The pizza shows up, and we see the police helicopter circling. Now, neat piece of information. They don't hover in one place because it uses more fuel to hover in one place than just to keep going around in circles. So anyways, they're going around in circles, and we're looking at them, and we thought, okay, there's the flood back then. And so we thought maybe they were watching the flood. The Red River X was going, and we lived just on the other side of the highway from the Red River X. You could actually hear it. So we thought maybe they're just, patrolling that. And so I look up, and we're joking. We're talking about them. And he said, hey, and I held up my plate of pizza. I said, would you like a slice? There's no Tim Hortons up there. And we all had a laugh about it. We thought it was funny. Put my plate down. Next thing you know, it's 6 officers come up my driveway, 3 of them in bulletproof vests with machine guns, other 3 in regular uniforms, one of them a sergeant. And the first thing out of his mouth was, who is firing the airsoft gun? And I'm like, I wasn't going to let Larry take the rap. So I said, it was me. I was showing it to my friend here. He goes, can we see it? I said, absolutely. So I get up to go in the house. I go in the house, and I've got the sliding glass doors that go into the kitchen off the deck. And one of the officers follows me in, the biggest of the bunch. And he had to duck down to get in the door. And so he follows me into the living room. I hold the gun out. It's one of those plastic ones. It's clear. You can see all the gears in it. It's got the red tip on the end. And he takes it, flips it, nose down, holds it to his chest, walks out in military fashion, and hands it to the sergeant. He goes, yep, it is definitely an airsoft gun. And so he goes, do you have ID? I said, it's in the van at the front of the driveway. And my van was parked at the front of the driveway because I had a dead car sitting that I had always planned to fix, but never did, at the back of the driveway. And so I said, yeah, let's go. So I'm walking out to my van to get my license, and these officers have encircled me. I don't know if they thought I was going to run away. Where would I go? I was already home. And so as I get past the front of my house, I see all of my new neighbors, because I'd only been there for 5 months. All of my brand new neighbors are all standing out on their lawns looking at my house. And they all see me encircled by officers. And I give them my ID, and the sergeant says, okay, I'm going to go run your ID. There's no cop cars on our street. They had walked up the street. And the 3 officers in battle armor say, is it okay if we leave? He goes, yeah, tell all the boys they can go. I'm thinking, what? So all 4 of them walk around the corner. I'm left with 2 officers standing at the front of my van. And I said, I see 17 trucks and cop cars going past the end of my street. I'm like, oh my God. Like, what did I do to get that kind of? And then one of the officers turns around and goes, oh, by the way, offering the helicopter pizza, they don't think that's funny. I said, they knew that I did that. They said they could hear you. They could see you. They knew exactly what you were doing. They didn't think it was funny. So skip to the next day. The sergeant comes back, gives me back the airsoft gun, gives me back my license, waves his finger at me, and leaves. Next day, I'm curious, so I called the precinct and asked them what constituted the need for that much force to show up at my door. And he told me that somebody, we know who, my neighbor, I had a crazy lady neighbor that lived next door. She, nice to your face, but, call the police if you sneezed. She called in automatic weapons fire next door. So they came in response, but the helicopter was watching us. We weren't some crime syndicate. We were a bunch of people eating pizza. So they put 2 and 2 together. Yeah. So that was Father's Day.
Here's the thing. Like I had my gate stolen last year.
I remember that.
I have iron gates, and one of my neighbors stole the doors off my gate, and he tried pawning them off at the antique store down the street. I ended up tracking them down, and I have them back. They're up now again. But I can't even get like the freaking cops to show up to take my statement. You offer pizza to a helicopter, to the police helicopter, and you get surrounded.
Well, the helicopter is there in response to me shooting an airsoft gun at a very aggressive beer can.
Maybe I'm gonna have to shoot off an airsoft gun in my neighborhood.
It's like all these strange things happen to me because being partly because I'm out really late at night when I'm DJing. I'm coming home. I've ended up with some pretty weird situations. I've DJ'd at some pretty weird places. Won't name any, but so you get yourself into some strange situations. And one of my friends, Mike, Mike, you've met my buddy Mike. He took me out for my birthday one year. And he took me to a movie, and movie was not for a couple of hours. So we were going to Polo Park. And so he took me to the food court in Polo Park for dinner. So we're sitting there and I guess I had been eating at him for a little while. And he says to me, Mark, I don't want to sound mean or anything like that, but all those stories that you talk about, those weird things that happen to you, I don't believe them. As he says this young girl comes to our table and she's doing this, and both of us thought the same thing at first: get your own drink if your food's too hot. But then I noticed her lips were blue. She's not breathing. She's choking. So I turn this girl around, grab her from around, and I'm, and people are staring at me like I'm doing something terrible to this girl in the middle of the mall. This great big chunk of meat flies out of her throat, lands right on Mike's plate. Now he's staring at the plate. She sits down. She starts crying, which is great because she's breathing.
Yeah.
She gives me a little hug and says, thank you. She goes back. She packages up the rest of her meal. Mike hasn't said a word yet. She comes back up and she says, thank you again. And she leaves. Mike's looking at his plate and just pushes it aside. He goes, I'll never doubt you again. I just said he was tempting the universe. So the universe had to put him right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I don't doubt this. Well, you've told me several stories of like the woman that punched you in the head, thinking that you were her sister.
Well, yeah. So sitting on Portage Avenue, I'd only moved back to Winnipeg. Well, it was the month I moved back to Winnipeg. It was fall. It was September-ish. I had this old white Cutlass Supreme Barome. Loved that car. 2-door, sitting at the lights at Arlington and Portage Avenue, which is 3 lanes each direction, separated by a meridian, a grass meridian.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and I'm westbound on Portage. Eastbound at the lights is a police car. And I was looking at the police car because when I left Winnipeg as a child, the cars were black and white. I came back and I was looking at it, and I remember thinking, blue and white. I wonder why they did that. And all of a sudden, bam, in the side of the head. And I didn't even think about it. The hand came in again. I grabbed it. I'm pulling down. I can hear their head hitting the top of my car. And I see them drop down, open the door, hit them with the door. And I get out. And there's the largest woman I've ever seen in my life. And she's laying there. And the officers have got their lights on now. And they're laughing as they walk across to me.
Yeah.
And they pick this woman up and they ask her. And the thing is I wish I could show you the picture of what I looked like back then. I had a beard like this. I had hair out to here. I had the worst Jufro going that you could imagine. I can say that because I'm Jewish.
Yes, I was just going to say he's allowed to say that, folks.
And I'm an Israeli, right? And I look like I just bombed a building. That's what I looked like back then, right? I wouldn't be allowed to walk. I wouldn't be allowed to walk through the airport unguarded, that kind of thing. So the officer looks at this woman and says to her, "Why did you run across 3 lanes of traffic over the meridian to punch this guy in the head?" And without even stopping, she says, "I thought it was my sister." Then the officer doesn't miss a beat and says, "You've got an ugly sister." And so they said to me, "Do you want to press charges?" I said, "Being her is punishment enough." And so they took her away to sober her up. And I drove off wondering what the hell happened to Winnipeg.
So somewhere out there, there's some bearded lady that is this woman's sister.
Yeah. You know, that's crazy in its face.
God. Oh, wow. That's incredible.
That was the end of September 1995.
And this stuff just keeps happening to you, like little situations like this. Just
Oh yeah, absolutely.
anything recent?
Recent, yeah. This woman that I'm seeing is on the phone with me, and she too seemed to have a problem believing some of the things that we were talking about. She asked me, my friends have kind of talked about things, we were laughing, and she had a problem with believing some of it. Hang on a second. She's actually on the thing.
Okay, his phone has been blowing up since for the last half hour.
She says that, and so I walk into 7-Eleven to get a Slurpee or something. I can't remember what it was. I think I was getting a Slurpee. And I walk in, and they've got these arrows going in every direction. And I'm looking down, trying to figure out which way I've got to go. And this guy yells at me, 6 feet. And I'm looking up, and I'm looking around, and there's this guy. He's like 2 or 3 feet away from me. He's at the till. I'm at the door. I just walked in, and he's already yelling at me. And I said, "Dude, I'm trying to figure out where I'm going." He goes, "Follow the arrows." I'm like, "I'm going to." And so he goes, "I said, get away from me." I said, "Dude, I just walked in the door." So he goes, "I will make you move." And I'm like, "Dude, don't do that." And so he gets right up in my face.
Oh my God.
And the 7-Eleven guy's like, "What's going on?" I said, I said, if you don't back off, I'm going to push you away. You're within my boundary here. He goes, oh, what are you going to do about it? So I just pushed him. And he went more than 6 feet away. And then I found which arrows I wanted to go. And he went. And so all this is happening. And I'm on the headset with her. And she goes, okay, I'm never going to ask again.
Oh,
That's the weirdest. That's the latest one.
you know, you guys hear stories of people from Florida being crazy. I don't know. I think we can have.
Oh, we're in competition. We are in competition.
I mean, come on. What happened most recently? The craziest story that I can think of is the guy that mounted the horses at one of the restaurants in Polo Park, in front of Polo Park, like the statues, spraying the cops with bear spray.
Oh yeah, I read about that. Well, the other day I went to Dollarama. I live like across the street from a Dollarama. There's like an apartment building and then Dollarama. I was in the parking lot and there's this guy and he's yelling and he's screaming and he's looking at the sky and he's arguing. And you can tell he's having one half of an argument. Because he's even pausing long enough. And it wasn't until he turned around I could see the earpiece for his phone and that he was in a phone conversation arguing with the person on the other side of the phone, but I couldn't see that. So he looked like this crazy guy, just screaming at God and arguing about whether the milk was good when he bought it.
Oh my God. See, I think that's the great thing about the Bluetooth headsets now is like you can have like these crazy conversations and, you know, have kind of an excuse that you're wearing a headset. I don't know.
That's right. I just.
Did you need to take off?
No, I'm just.
No.
I've got you on the other computer. I've got us just seeing how the stream is working.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of neat.
We'll have to do another show together for sure.
Oh yeah. How long do these normally go for?
Well, it's 8:30 now. Did you want to end it here or did you
I'm good as long as you're good. I mean, really.
You know what? Let's end the show with you singing one of your Filking songs.
Okay, hang on a second. I got myself a 12-string guitar.
Ooh.
All right. Wrote it so long ago I don't remember all the words. So.
Or I mean, you can sing whatever song you want.
No, I'll sing you the one I wrote. I don't mind doing that. I like that one. So a little backstory on it. I thought it took me 10 minutes to write this. Apparently, I was in my office for 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Time just flew by. I didn't even know it happened. So basically, like I told you, I've been playing D&D since I was 13 years old. That's 40 years now.
And you and Scott have like incredible stories of your adventures with the D&D.
We do. And that's because we've both been playing for so long. And does the guitar come through?
Yeah.
So this is the story of my first ever D&D game. Is really what it is. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I just put you on the big screen.
That scared me. My first ever D&D group. And because of me, it was a TPK. And for those of you who don't play Dungeons and Dragons, that means a total party kill. Lost in darkness with my friends. Time has come to fight again. Because the treasures that you're keeping, we tried to take while you were sleeping. But you woke up and you ruined all our plans, your ogre band. So I cast the spell of silence. With my friends, I'm not alone, fighting in the halls of stone. And in the shadows of the lantern light, the ugly ogres lift their swords to fight. When our elves were stabbed in the flesh by a rusted blade, no sound was made. 'Cause I cast the spell of silence. My friends all gave me a look. Better spells inside my book. I could have fried them with a lightning bolt, a fireball or a cone of cold. But I panicked and I picked a spell that sucked. And now we're doomed. Because I cast the spell of silence. Friends, I said you do not know all the spells that I can throw. I can slow them down or speed us up, create a fireball to mess them up, go invisible so you cannot see me, or fly and flee. But I cast the spell of silence, and the clerics kneeled and prayed, because the stupid move I'd made. Found myself in a nasty spot, looked down to my chest 'cause I was shot by an arrow that had come from an ogre's bow. And now I know, never use the spell of silence. And now my party all is dead. At the table it is said, I cannot play a mage no more, so I think I'll play a rogue for sure. 'Cause I know that they get a lot of skills and backstab kills. And they move in silence.
Nice. All right.
I think I have some out of tune.
Hey,
I gotta get a new capo. This capo puts things out of tune.
You know, I enjoy your music. I enjoy helping you out. Being a DJ, I miss it. I need to hang out with you more.
You too. I mean, it's been a long time since our team has been able to get together.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking that we have to do things like this, from across the city, across, the airwaves. Yeah. But at least we get to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this Saturday, Gopher the Cure will be beaming its way through however you like to stream, whether it be on computer, your phone, on your TV, put it through a stereo, move the furniture, dance to the music, send me your requests. As I cannot see you dancing, I can't tell what you want to dance to.
And I'll make sure that I'll send you videos of me dancing and enjoying the music.
Post them on the Go for the Cure page.
Absolutely. So yes, if you guys want to come join Go for the Cure this weekend, Saturday, what time does it start?
8 o'clock. I'll be broadcasting just a little bit shy of 8 o'clock, just so that there's music playing when people start. Um, it starts at 8 o'clock, goes till 1 a.m. Halfway through, we've got to do a stream change because there is a limitation to how long the stream will run.
Okay.
Live stream. So basically, halfway through at 2.5 hours, or close to 2.5 hours, close to 3 hours, we will be saying, "Okay, everybody, close this stream, open the new stream that pops up in 30 seconds," and we're going to continue, and then we'll start giving away prizes. Every $5 that you donate gets your name in. Well, the first $5 gets you the link. Every $5 after that gets you a ballot into the draw for prizes, and you can send the donations to e-transfer them to Gopher the Cure, GOPHER the Cure at shaw.ca. So yeah, like I said, I don't care if we make $50 or $5,000 as long as I've got something to give to the Never Alone Foundation, which does magical work for people suffering from cancer.
All right. Yeah, and I'll do that. Gopher the Cure at shaw.ca.
Yeah, that's where you can send your e-transfers to. The money's automatically deposited straight into the account for the event.
I'm looking forward to it.
We've already had glad to say $150 donated so far.
Nice. We'll make sure that it gets up there more.
I'd love to see that increase by 10 or 20 times.
Yes. And I'm sure with the help of my friends as well as everybody who's involved with Go for the Cure as well, we will get there.
We will be what we will be, and that's the beautiful thing of it.
Thank you very much, Mark. Oh, where can we find you on social media?
I've got a website, gopherthemusic.ca, Facebook, Facebook/GTMDJ is Go for the Music's Facebook page. I'm still trying to navigate things like Instagram. I'm old. Come on, I'm 53.
I think we're all trying to do that. Don't feel bad.
Somebody told me I should start doing TikTok videos. And I've looked at some of them. I'm like, are you kidding me?
You know what? I don't know. TikTok kind of scares me a little bit. I'm on like.
It is bizarre.
I'm happy with doing random videos for YouTube.
Oh, and I do go for radio every Sunday night.
Yes.
From 8 to 10. And that's radio.gopherthemusic.ca. And it's got a player on there. If you are using Google, it may have a problem. So there is an alternate player on there as well.
But yeah, I'll definitely share the page, and I'll promote Go for the Cure as much as I can this week before Saturday, and I'll be there. I'll be here, but there. Thank you very much, Mark, for hanging out.
Oh, I love you, girl.
You love guys, you too.
You guys you've always done so well for the team, and I can't appreciate you enough. And to all of you out there that are watching, I love you all. Join us on Saturday night for Go for the Cure.
Have a good night, folks.